Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Tarot Scopes again. We're going to be doing the Tarot Scopes for the sign of Sag. That's Sag Sun, Sag Moon, Sag Rising for the month of May 2025. Before we get into all the fun, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. To my tried and true who have been with me for many years. Thank you for your continued support. It means the world to me. To my members on YouTube, welcome. Um, I just want to let you know that there's more to come with membership. And for my patrons, that is also true. Thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for all your support over all these many years. Okay, so we're going to get into the astrology first for the month. Just general stuff, just general highlights. Then we'll look at it on your chart, and then we'll get to the card reading. So let's get into it. Alrighty. So let me just find the correct slide here. Oops, where am I? That's a good question. I don't know where I am. Okay. We'll get to how it specifically affects you, Sag. Okay. Let's talk about in general first. So here we have a picture of the tree of life with all the little circles or sephiroth, which symbolize planets and the signs that those planets are in. We can see as an example, this center circle, the yellow one, Tiphereth, is the sun. This is the place of the sun. And so we see that the sun starts the month in Taurus and then eventually on the 20th moves into Gemini. So we see that there's a sign change in the sun. We're always going to see that in the months. Up here we have Aries and Aquarius. That's Neptune and Pluto up here. Over here, this is the Sephiroth of Saturn. We see that Saturn is going to be changing signs this month. This is the Sephiroth of Uranus. Uranus is still in Taurus. Jupiter in Gemini. The moon, the Mars moving through Leo all month. Creative, self-expressive Mars. Venus in Aries. This fiery combination of Mars and Venus, and they do make a trine to each other this month, is really very creative, very courageous. Creative and courageous. Courageous. Sorry, probably shouldn't do that. Mercury, again, starting in Aries, moving into Taurus, the full moon and the new moon, and then this is the Earth. The vibrations, the 9 is a universal year vibration. We're in this vibration all year. As you sow, so shall you reap vibration. The 5, the vibration of the month, the 5th month is the Hierophant card. This is wisdom and wisdom from previous lifetimes as well. And then we add these two vibrations to get the 14-5. This is the Temperance. This is the path of probation, the intelligence of temptation. This is about walking the straight and narrow, about tempering your actions and walking the path of the mystic. We are all walking the path of the mystic this month. May starts with a conjunction of Venus to Neptune. In the first degree of Aries, Venus has finally moved into Aries. She did that at the end of last month. And conjoins Neptune, which is hanging around that first degree of Aries. Neptune itself moved into Aries for the first time in many, many years, about 150 years since it's been in Aries and 165 years since it's been in the first degree of Aries, back at the end of March 30th, I believe it was. And so we have Neptune newly in Aries, Venus re-entering Aries. Remember, Venus had a retrograde cycle, which started at, I think, the 11th degree of Aries. So she's been struggling to get back into Aries, and now she has the the superpower that Neptune brings her, the mass consciousness, the mass awareness in the sign of the emergence of consciousness, in the degree of the emergence of consciousness. We also have Saturn moving into Aries, making all of that real, making all of that real. And that's happening on the 24th. On the 4th, we have Pluto stationing retrograde. Pluto, the planet of power, starts to move backwards. So those in power you may see, especially those connected to technology, sort of moving back, reassessing on how better to move forward. On Monday, we have Mercury make a sextile to Jupiter. This is one that shares our knowledge with each other. An opportunity for a more progressive future. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity knocks. On the 6th, Venus makes a waxing sextile to Pluto. This opens the line of communications around the things that are most important to us. On the 10th, Mercury enters Taurus. Mercury is been in Aries, which is fiery and, passionate, and it goes into Taurus, and Taurus is like, all right, how's this going to serve us? What function is this going to have? What pragmatic reason? Our mind becomes very pragmatic. On the 12th, we have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio, the sun in Taurus. This is the axis of our values. What do we value? What's important to us? Along with a first quarter square of Pluto to Mercury, this is a crisis in action square. And so this is about taking an action. And because it's Mercury, it could be taking an action with your voice, On the 18th, Mercury squares Mars. That could be a little dicey. Arguments, perhaps. On the 20th, the sun makes a waxing sextile to Saturn. This brings structure or illuminates structures for us at the same time that the sun ingresses into Gemini. Now the energy is moving into the airy side of things, right? The sun in Gemini. On the 22nd of May, Venus makes a trine to Mars, and the sun sextiles Neptune. Both of these are very good for interaction, interconnectedness. In the case of the sun sextile to Neptune, conversations with spirit. On the 24th, the sun makes a waxing trine to Pluto, and Uranus conjuncts Mercury. Uranus and Mercury have a special relationship, as Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Often I see Mercury as the lower mind and Uranus as the higher mind on the same page at the 28th degree of Taurus. And on the same day, we have the Saturn ingress into Aries. It hasn't been in Aries since the late 90s, so it has been a while. On the 25th, Mercury ingresses into Gemini. Mercury is moving real fast right now, so hops into Gemini. Gemini is the sign that Mercury rules. It's moving direct. It's moving forward. This is progress, guys. This is progress. We also have a waxing sextile to Saturn, so it's not just progress, but it's progress with structure. There's structure behind this progress. Now, this energy of progress is there for everybody. If whatever you want to manifest, you have to apply yourself to. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You have to apply your own energy to your own projects here. And part of that project may be making the world a better place. Whenever you're in your heart and doing what you love, you're making the world a better place. Unless it's beating people up, because you like to do that and be mean to people. That's not really cool, but everybody does their thing, I guess. Hopefully from a non-wounded place, so we can open our hearts instead of closing them off to people. On the 26th, Mercury makes a sextile to Neptune, and we have the new moon in Gemini. Gemini is a mercurial sign. Mercury is speaking to spirit here. So this new moon in Gemini, we could get some pretty big downloads through this month, for sure, and utilize that new information to plant seeds for something new. In your case, it'll be your house of relationships. So who do you want to relate to? What kind of relationships do you want to have? Business relationships. It could be romantic relationships. It could be therapists. It could be relationships with an equal of some sort. On the 27th, Mercury makes a waxing trine to Pluto. Nice flow of energy there. air energy, powerful energy with this new moon. This is a very powerful new moon time right here at this 7th degree of Gemini. There's a lot of really good things happening right before and right after that new moon. On the 30th, we have a superior conjunction of the Sun and Mercury in 10 degrees of Gemini. So there's illumination around ideas, conversation, information. So there's definitely, and this is generally how May rolls, there's this really sort of intense, like work-a-day energy at the beginning, and then as the fields are plowed and the things are done and taken care of, and your needs have been to a certain extent met, then we extend ourselves out into the world and meet people. But you're going to meet a lot of new people this year, because there's going to be a lot of people on the streets. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to not just disagree on, but more importantly, there's a lot to agree on. And I think that we're going to see that in this month. All right, let's continue. And we're going to go to specifically for you, Sag. So let's find you here. Okay. So I just want to point out that what we see is, when you see red, it means the planet is in fire. When you see yellow, it's in air. When you see green, it's in earth. We have the sun start the month for you in your house of health. So you do need to be aware of your health. You have Uranus there. You've had Uranus there for a long time. And so there have been unexpected, unexplained things that sort of popped up in your healthscape, not hellscape, healthscape, that needed attention. And as long as you gave it the attention it needed, it would work itself out. Mercury actually starts in the 5th house, this in Aries, then moves into Taurus, and then quickly then moves into Gemini, going through 3 signs this month. Usually happens after Mercury retrograde. It speeds up. Sort of got to catch up on itself. Here is Neptune newly in that 5th house. Sort of brings up a little bit romance, maybe a little bit overly romantic or overly idealistic around love. You do have to watch that. But now Saturn's coming in to help. And if Saturn can help anybody be over idealistic, Saturn can do the job. Saturn could do the job. It is going to be there just for a short amount of time, and then it moves back into Pisces. But it will be moving into that house for 2.5 years next year, starting next year. And so Saturn does sort of restrict and depress a little bit. In the 5th house, it can actually help you with your creative process, because you're more sort of internal and you're focused and you're applying, you're working it. Saturn is where you're working something. And so you could have a creative endeavor of some sort, or there could be restrictions around your children, or you could be doing an empty nest thing. Maybe your kids are growing up and moving out, and you're like, oh no, goodness gracious, what am I going to do now? Right. All right. The sun, as I said, starts in the 6th house, moves into the 7th when the sun moves into Gemini. This is very conversant. This is going, people coming in, talking to you. This is about listening. We have a new moon here. This is starting a new, some sort of a new project. This could even be a partnership with somebody. Gemini is about communication, so you might be in a contract about expanding your communication. When the sun is above the horizon here, you're in a much more extroverted place, and so over the next 6 months, you might end up putting yourself out there more, and you might meet somebody who's going to help you do that. Mars in the 9th house, moving the house of truth. Mars in Leo is courageous. You're standing up for what you know to be true and what you know to be right. Moving through that house, moving forward. So more progress and less frustration. Pluto is down here in the 3rd house. It's going to be there now for the next 19 years or so. And so it's deep transformation of the mind. The full moon is happening in the 12th house with the sun of that full moon in the sixth house. This is the house of health, but it's also the karmic house, and it's a very spiritual house. It's the axis of service, and so something will be illuminated in the area of service, or in the area of health, or in the area of wrapping up some karma. It's work, whatever it is, it's work, but with the right attitude, it's definitely work worth doing. Work worth doing. A little stress on this part of the chart. This is the family part of the chart, so there can be some more energy there. So you might have to expend a little more energy in your family, and then in your work as well. All right. So that is the specifics for Sag. Let me stop the share, and let's do some cards. Let's do some cards. Let's see. I think last month I used the Crow, I believe. So I'm going to use the Wild Unknown. This is a deck I really actually love using for you guys for Sag. I find it in its way very Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the wild places. And so why not the Wild and Unknown Tarot for Sag? All right. This is a pretty popular deck. It's really nice. It's different, and I like it. There are very few decks that I don't like, actually, now that I think about it. But I do have some of my favorites. So I actually had the top deck here to use for you, but then I forgot it was there, so it's obviously not for you. You're like, thank you. Thank you, Jesus. The cards are going to say what the cards are going to say. It doesn't usually matter the deck. All right. Let's see what the cards are going to say. We start with the High Priestess. This is about secrets. This is about knowing. This is power, silence. My mother would say, she had an expression. She would say, see that one over there? She's got it all behind the ears. All behind the ears. Meaning that she knew stuff, but she wasn't going to say nothing. That's what it means to have everything behind your ears. And that's you, Sag. Now, to not say something is a little bit more of a challenge, perhaps, with Sagittarius energy being always wanting to just say it. But this can also be revelations, intuitions. So you're in the process of direct connection with Source. The High Priestess is on this path here. Oops, can't see, do it like this. I can't do it that way. I have to like watch what I'm doing. And from Kether to Tippereth, from crown to heart, direct connection from Source. As we start this month, you are in the ray. You ever see those pictures of like somebody in like I guess a tractor beam where they come down, whoop, and then you know the next thing the person's like rising up through the ray? That's you. What's the challenge? Temperance, the card of the month. In fact, the Sagittarius card. This is the card of Sagittarius. So the challenge is to keep your balance, is to not get caught up in extremes, one foot in front of the other. Enough rest, enough action, enough play, enough work. Everything in balance. That's the challenge. There's a lot happening. There's a lot coming through. You're going to have to make sure, especially with those things down in the sixth house, that you're taking your health into consideration. Because you are someone who, when they know something, they want to share it if they think it's going to be helpful for people. And it's not that you can't share it, but you have to balance that with the other parts of your life. Underneath it all, at the root, is the Hierophant. This is your wisdom. So you stand on your wisdom, and this isn't just the wisdom that you've accrued from this particular life, but lifetimes of wisdom. How powerful is this? I've picked 3 cards, and they've all been major arcana. This is a significant time. When you pick all major arcanas, it's a significant time. It's like your soul has been waiting for this moment, Sagittarius. In the past, oops. Another major arcana. Judgment, awakening, the dispelling of the darkness. The darkness was but a flock of birds that fly away, and suddenly you can see the light. You have had the great awakening. Although most Sagittarius are pretty much born at least semi-awake. It takes a while for the rest of us to catch up. In the sky, everything's thrown into the air. Look at all these stars just willy-nilly up in the air, right? Things are just upside down, sideways. This is the energy outside, right? This is above us. This is the energy above. So it's chaotic. But in that chaos is a lot of creativity. Do not forget that. In the immediate future for you, Sag. The Three of Cups. It's time for you to get together with your gal pals. Have a little fun. Reach out to your friends. Have a conversation. Take the time. I want to say your friends miss you. Just a little. How it's seen. Of course, another major arcana. You are seen as a light in the darkness. You are seen as someone who shares their wisdom and shares their light, but stay safe at home. Not a roamer here, not a roamer, but certainly a light on the path for many of us. Thank you so much, Sag. In the domestic situation, we have the Daughter of Swords. This can be a spy in the camp. This can be somebody who observes. You ever have an experience? I know I don't have children, so I haven't had this experience, but I know a lot of people have had, and they talked about it with me, where you're just sitting there and your little kid says something that's so advanced to their age, or even what you think of them as their experience, that you're like, right? And so that's kind of the energy here. It's like the wisdom that's there that may surprise you, may surprise you. This can also be whistleblowing, a whistleblower, somebody who is willing to stick their neck out for the truth. Um, or it could also be um, yeah, I think there was something else, but it escaped my mind. So it's probably not something I need to say. All right, hopes and fears. The Seven of Wands. This is about uh, shining bright despite the challenges, but the challenges are falling away. You have the higher ground. You have the moral rectitude here. You hold the light of life, and everything else is going to um, you will be successful. That's a success card, but it's hard fought success, which could probably just define your life. Every Sag I know. It hasn't been easy. They don't necessarily make it look easy, although they can. But they're usually pretty jolly all the same when they get to the end. And we have the Emperor, another major arcana. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana out of 10 cards. This is about being an authority in your own life. This is about dominion. This is about the rights to yourself. This is about your leadership. This is an Aries card. Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries as the month begins. Underneath it all, we have some loss, some things that you've had to move through, things that'll never be the same, but you take what's left and you forward on. Feathering your nest. You've done a pretty good job of it. You've been very good about making sure that there's safety and security in the nest at home. And then we have the Daughter of Cups, which reminds me to remind you to nurture yourself, to nurture that little girl within, to nurture that sense of wonder and awe that we have as a child before life beats us to a pulp. Protect the innocent and protect your innocence. You are a beautiful expression of divine love, and don't you forget it. New beginnings. This is very auspicious after this the 5. So it hasn't been easy, but it's been. And now it is. And so it goes, and so it goes. All right, one last thing. I'm going to be doing a Spirit of the Wheel Oracle card. And we'll see what card comes up for Sag. This is a deck. It's called the Spirit of the Wheel Meditation Deck. You can see it's pretty well loved. By Linda Iwashina. Can you see that? Iwashina. Hold that up. Okay. All right, let's see. What do we have? What do we have? What message do you have for Sag? Sag Sun, Sag Moon, and Sag Rising. Renewal, Spirit Path of the North, spiritual progress, success, and hope. Number 30. Wow. Spiritual progress, success, and hope. I actually could not describe a Sag more accurately than those 3 words, quite honestly. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it, but I got to find the page now. And then I have to take my glasses off so I can read it. It's very small. It's very too small. As us readers are getting older, we need like that large print stuff. Bibs. All right. Oh yeah, let me take my glasses. Put those up here. Otherwise, I might forget where they are and sit on them, which I've done before. Okay, hopefully you can see this. It's hard for me to see now. All right. Okay, where are we here? Oh, what number is it? I'm sorry, guys. 30. Okay, yeah, right. This is the prophecy. The renewal card comes after a period of difficulty and strife. It represents the springtime of your life when the cold winter snow is gone and new growth emerges. You have cleansed yourself of past burdens and are now filled with strength and determination. This is a... Let me make sure I'm on the right page here. Okay, yes. This is a particularly good time to work on your dreams and goals. The positive and free-flowing energy signifies a time of success and good fortune. Your confidence grows as you begin to come more fully into your own power. With the growing recognition that you do have something to offer the world comes renewed belief in yourself. This inspirational energy can help you manifest joy and abundance in every area of your life. Make good use of this magical time. Your connections to the divine is strengthening. Renewal suggests opportunities are all around you to develop your gifts. Your life is truly a blessing right now, and you have much to be thankful for. And here's your prayer. I welcome the hope and inspirational energy of the North into my life. I work towards my goals with renewed confidence and determination. I welcome the hope and inspirational energy of the North into my life. The North is the most powerful direction for the natives, I believe. Oh, all right. Well, that's what I see for you guys. Hey, have yourself a great month. I feel the energy of May, although no cakewalk, is going to be very different. I think we're going to feel to a certain extent that we're making progress that we hadn't felt up to this point, perhaps. So, and And Sag loves progress, and so do non-Sages. So that's the story, guys. Have a wonderful month, and I'll see you again next month. Take care of yourself, and namaste.